Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to go over the new box of parts that came in for the truck. Now for those of you who aren't subscribed, I highly encourage you to do that because we are putting boost on a 5.7 Hemi in a mega cab. So it's very heavy, but it's full bolt-on, it's cammed, it's got a built transmission. So all we need now is a little more sauce, and I'm talking boost. So it's either going to be a supercharger or a turbo. You guys, if you want to subscribe and follow along, that's what we've been doing. Watch some of the older videos that we've got leading up to this. We've already mounted the intercooler. We've already done a couple little things, and we're going to keep on going with it. So this video, I know you guys were expecting, for those of you who are subscribed, we're expecting to see us installing the charge pipes for the cold side, for the intake side of the things. But I'm still waiting on the kit to come in with all of the pipes and bends that I need to make that. So we're holding off on that. But what we are going to do is go over this box of parts I have on the table. We're going to need these. We're going to want these because without them, we ain't got no fuel. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so what we have here is just 4 of the injectors. The other 4 are in this. They come this way from HHP because they are just basically not a aftermarket injector necessarily. These are a SRT4 injector. There's 4 more in here, like I said, and that's going to make our 8 cylinders. HHP Racing, you can go there, get all your parts. I'm not sponsored by them, but they do have a lot of good stuff, and it's very good Hemi specific type of things. They've got a lot of just Mopar parts and all kinds of goodies on there, so you guys can go check those out. But my tuner told me, hey, go to HHP and get yourself the SRT4 stage 1 injectors. They're direct drop-in replacements for the Hemi, at least for my Hemi, and so they'll drop in. The factory injectors, I don't know what the flow rate is on those, but I know it cannot be that much. Right now, full bolt-on and cammed, we are knocking at about 85 to 90% injector duty cycle. They're basically capped out. You really don't want to go over 80 if you can avoid it, and we're well up to closer to 90 on the duty cycle. So the injectors that are in the truck now are pretty much capped out, and when we go boost, there's no way they're going to keep up. So we wanted to get bigger injectors. For these injectors, we went with these, and I talked to my tuner. I said, hey, why don't I go with Fuel Injector Clinic 650cc injectors? Those injectors should be good for quite a bit of power and be able to hold what I'm trying to do with the boost with ethanol. But he said, no, don't get those. Get these. Get these SRT4 stage 1 injectors from HHP. So these injectors are rated at 577 cc's, and that is going to be able to support on gasoline with a little bit of boost about 500 horsepower to the wheel. That should be plenty for what we're trying to do. I'm hoping that they'll have enough left in them to do a ethanol tune later on down the road, but we're just going to cover that when we get there. This is what my tuner told me to use, and this is what he wants to use. Now let's talk about injectors. So let me snatch one up right here. These injectors, for one, I can tell you right now, from the last time I built the engine, I had the old injectors on in my hands, and these guys are heavy. They're heavy and they're hefty, and hopefully I can get in the screen there. You see that? See how it's welded in there like that? That's, I mean, these are beautiful injectors. I'm not gonna lie. They're straight from Mopar, exactly how they are from Mopar, and they are 577 cc's. The reason that we wanted to go with these versus a 650cc injector is because, for one, these are a direct replacement for the injectors I have now. Direct drop-in replacement, just better. Another reason is because of the flow rating. If you have a injector that is rated to flow, we'll say 500 cc's, and then you have another injector that's rated to flow 1000 cc's, you have a broader range of flow with the larger injector. However, the accuracy of that injector is going to go down the bigger you go. So we went with just what we needed. This is just what we need. That way we can get good idle quality out of it, good part throttle driving out of it, but it'll still hold the fueling requirements that we're going to need. Now, hopefully our fuel pump will keep up and hold 58 psi at all times. If not, we're going to use a Kenny Bell booster pump to supply the extra fuel that we need. But hopefully for right now, those will do the trick. Map sensor. It's a Manifold absolute pressure sensor. This is also a Mopar part. It came in this box right here. Here's the part number. Made in Philippines. Yeah, so anyways, nothing's made in the United States anymore. This map sensor is a 3-bar map sensor. Now, for a naturally aspirated vehicle, typically, and we're going to talk about Hemis here because that's what we're working on. Typically, you basically have a 1-bar map sensor. Now, it'll read a little bit more than 1 bar, which is 1 atmosphere of air. 1 bar is 100 kPa, and that's also 14.7 basically PSI of ambient air pressure. Ambient air pressure is around that, 14 or so, really. So that's a stock map sensor would read up to atmospheric pressure because you're not pushing air in there. You're just metering the amount of air that can kind of get pulled into the engine through a vacuum. So you really don't need anything that's going to go read above what's the pressure of the air outside. So it'll read down to like sea level on a stock one. But for this 3-bar map sensor, it's capable of 3 times atmospheric pressure. So you have atmospheric pressure, then you have another 14.7 PSI. That would be a 2-bar. And then we have another 14.7 PSI on top of that. That would be a 3-bar map sensor is what we have now. So as far as reading it off of your gauge, of a boost gauge, which we need to get ordered, this sensor is capable of reading up to roughly, I would say, 28 PSI. Are we going to run 28 PSI? That is a big no. That will never happen on this truck. But, this sensor is going to be plenty. It's going to be all we need. 3-bar map sensor, direct from Mopar. For our engine, what we're going to have to do is clip off this tab. If you have a newer Hemi, you're going to have to use a different map sensor because it's located in a different spot on the manifold. But this map sensor is, if I'm not mistaken, a 3-bar map sensor for a SRT as well. We're going to clip this little end off. It still has the screw ports. So we can drop it in to where the existing one is, twist it in place, plug it in. Tuner will do his magic with the injectors and with the map sensor, and we'll be good to go. I hope you guys are as excited about this as I am. I'm super excited to get Boost on this truck, and it's going to be so much faster. It's going to be so much more fun. Get a lot more fun videos out there, and definitely go to the drag strip again and see who we can surprise at the tree and on the big end. But you guys tell me what you think. I've already decided, but tell me what you think, supercharger or turbo. If we go supercharger, we're going torque storm. If we go turbo, we'll figure something out. There's a lot of options there. So we've got a few things left to get. We got to get the boost gauge and the extra pillar pod. So we'll have to buy a 3-pillar pod because I already have 2 pillar pod on it. And then also I'm going to have to pull the engine back apart, at least pull the pistons out. I want to gap the rings to 25 thousandths. So that way it'll hold the boost without doing Hemi, blow up the pistons type of stuff. So you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys are subscribed because this is going to be a wild ride. We're turning it up. And by that, I mean we're turning up the boost on Build It Motorsport. Also, you guys, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.